Good day, everyone. This is Group 12, and my name is Orella. My co-group members are Nikita and Shisila. To start with, let's define what we mean by international business management. While it sounds like business as usual, just across borders, it is actually a more complex beast. Our core argument today is that IBM isn't just about selling products in a new city. It involves designing and coordinating a firm's global architecture. Think of it as the blueprints for value creation. We aren't just looking at the individual transactions. We are looking at how a company organizes its entire global network to ensure that the whole is greater than some of its parts. What makes IBM different? So why can't a successful domestic company just copy and paste this strategy? The answer lies in the three complexities. First, there's the liability of foreigners. That's when you enter a new market, you are the outsider, and you don't have the same network or home court advantage as local firms. The second one is cultural institutional distance. This isn't just about language, it's about different legal systems, religious norms, and consumer behaviors. Finally, there are global coordination challenges. Managing a team in London from a head office in Singapore requires a level of control and communication that domestic firms simply do not worry about. Success in IBM requires bridging these gaps effectively.
The integration responsiveness paradox, IRP. The architecture of IBM is built on the tension between global integration and local responsiveness. Firms must decide whether to standardize products to capture economies of scale or customize them to meet local, cultural, and regulatory demands. Adaptive structures. Modern IBM requires a shift from rigid hierarchies to global matrix structures. This allows for horizontal communication, ensuring that a breakthrough in a local center of excellence can be scaled globally by HQ in real time. Leadership as the final glue. Finally, the architecture only functions through cultural intelligence leadership. Leaders must act as global bridges, mitigating information asymmetry and turning geopolitical volatility into a competitive advantage by diversifying the firm's resource base across stable and emerging markets. Structural orchestration and entry mode. The deliberate orchestration refers to how a firm enters a market and organizes its power. Entry strategy. Choosing between low control modes and high control modes. This choice manages the liability of foreigners by balancing risk against the need to protect intellectual property.
International business management plays a central role in helping firms design operations across borders. Companies do not expand globally at random. They make deliberate decisions about structure, strategy, and coordination to create value. One of the first major decisions is entry mode strategy. That is how a firm enters a foreign market. This decision determines the level of control, risk, resource commitment the firm is willing to undertake. Options include exporting, which is considered a low-risk option. In this mode, a firm introduces goods in its home country and ships them to a foreign market. It requires minimal investment in the host country and allows the company to test the market before committing significant resources. However, exporting may involve transportation costs, tariffs, and limited control over distribution and marketing abroad. Another entry mode is licensing, which allows a local company in the foreign market to use the firm's brand, the name, technology, or intellectual property in exchange for royalties or fees. This approach reduces financial risk because the local partner handles production and operation. It also enables faster market entry. However, the firm sacrifices a degree of control and may face risk of intellectual property limitation or reduced quality standards. The next is joint ventures, where a foreign firm partners with a local company to create a new business entity. Both parties share ownership, risk, resources, and expertise. Joint ventures are particularly useful in markets where local knowledge is essential or where governments require foreign firms to collaborate with domestic companies. While this mode spreads risk and combines strength, it may also lead to conflicts between partners and slower decision-making due to shared control. Wholly owned subsidiaries, which involve full ownership of operations in the foreign markets. This can be achieved either by acquiring an existing company or by establishing a new operation from scratch. That is greenfield investment. This option involves maximum control over strategic decisions, operations and profit, and projects, proprietary technology and brand reputation. However, it requires substantial financial investment and exposes the firm to higher political and economical risk in the host country. Each of these entry modes balances control, risk, and resource commitment, forming a core part of the firm's global architecture that determines value creation and capture in that market. These structural choices create the blueprint for global operations. Firms also constantly manage the tension between global integration and local responsiveness. Standardization reduces production costs and ensures brand consistency worldwide, while adaptation allows firms to meet local consumer preference, legal requirements, and cultural expectations. These strategic decisions directly influence how value is created and sustained across international markets. However, structure alone does not guarantee success. Even the most careful design strategies can be disrupted by external environmental factors. Some of these external factors include political changes, such as shifts in government policies, political instability, changes in trade regulations, or nationalization of industries. These can create uncertainty and increase operational risk for foreign firms. Sudden policy changes may restrict business activities or increase taxation. Another is cultural differences. This can also pose significant challenges. Variations in language, values, religion, customer behavior, and management styles can affect marketing strategies, employment relations, and customer acceptance. Failure to understand cultural nuances may lead to poor market performance. Another is regulatory barriers, including strict labor laws, environmental regulations, import restrictions, or licensing requirements. These can raise operational costs and slow down expansion plans. Firms must continuously monitor legal environments to remain compliant. Another is economic instability, such as inflation, currency fluctuations, recession, or declining purchasing power. This can reduce customer demand and affect profitability. Exchange rate volatility, in particular, can significantly impact revenue and cost structures for multinational firms. Thus, while international business management provides the framework for global value creation through strategic entry modes and organizational design, firms must remain adaptable and responsive to external forces that can reshape the international business environment. So this slide contrasts international success and failure. IKE succeeds because it uses a transnational model, that is, it keeps global cost efficiency through standardized designs but adapts to local markets like smaller stores in dense Asian cities. In contrast, Best Buy and Uber failed in some markets due to poor strategic fit. They didn't align their entry modes with structures with global competition and regulations.
IBM in the contemporary global environment. One of the world's oldest and most influential technology companies in today's global environment, IBM has transformed from a hardware-focused company into a cloud computing, artificial intelligence, that's AI, and enterprise leader. Digitalization is the use of digital technologies, internet, cloud computing, AI, big data automation, mobile platforms to improve business operations and create new business models. It includes e-commerce, online banking, digital marketing, cloud systems, artificial intelligence. How digitalization influences global strategy. Digitalization has changed global strategy in the following ways. A. Faster international expansion. Digital platforms allow companies to enter foreign markets without physical presence. Example, Amazon sells products globally through online platforms. Amazon also operates in over 190 countries digitally. Its impact includes supply chain disruption, higher cost, market volatility, and hesitance to invest, making global strategy and planning more uncertain. IBM gains competitive advantage through innovation and technology, global brand and reputation, consulting and services, global reach. The goal: moving toward a transnational strategy where a firm achieves global efficiency while remaining locally flexible. This allows a company to transfer core competencies across borders while respecting local market nuances. Overcoming the distances, CAGE framework. Global management is complicated by more than just miles. Managers must bridge 4 types of distance. 1. Cultural. 2. Administrative. Global strategy is a company's long-term plan to compete and operate across multiple countries. It involves decisions about market entry, standardization versus adaptation, global integration, competitive positioning, international expansion. Geopolitical risk is the chance that political events, conflicts, or instability will negatively affect businesses, markets, or investments. It comes from wars, example, the Russia-Ukraine war, trade wars, US-China trade wars, coups, protests, or sudden regulatory changes. Reduced entry barriers. Small businesses can now compete internationally using social media marketing, online payment systems, global logistics platforms. A Ghanaian fashion brand can sell internationally through Instagram and online stores. So this brings us to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.